Good morning, Mark, and good morning, everybody, and thank you, Mark, for the introduction. Whenever I come along to these events, I'm always blown away by the really exciting work that is going on in our county, and I think we've got so many great stories to tell. So it's fabulous to be with you today and share with you what we're looking to do at the Health and Care Strategic Advisory Board, because I think that we've got some fabulous opportunities in this county to really develop the way in which we deliver health and care and to create business opportunities and opportunities for innovation. And I guess the first thing I would say is that when we think about health and care, we automatically think about the NHS. And the NHS are a really important part of our system. But actually the health and care sector is much bigger than that, and it's got the potential to create great career opportunities and provide the right environment for local research, innovation and technology. Just to give you an idea of the scale that we're talking about, the sector in Greater Lincolnshire employs 58,000 people and is worth £2 billion per year to the Lincolnshire economy. So not small numbers that we're talking about and not small opportunities. We certainly have some characteristics and challenges that create some really exciting opportunities. And as a Health and Care Strategic Advisory Board, we're exploring how we can support everyone who lives and works in Lincolnshire to live healthy and fulfilling lives. Rurality is definitely one of those challenges. I don't know where you've driven from to be here today, but I've come a fair distance, and we all know that that can be a real challenge living in our county, but it also gives us opportunities. And actually, the solutions that we can develop here to meet that challenge of rurality can apply right across this country to other and beyond, to people far beyond our borders. The same can be said of our ageing population. I think every time you read the media or if you're involved in health and care, we always talk about the challenges of a population that's getting older and developing more conditions that go with that. But actually, that also gives us some opportunities to look at new solutions, new models, care, new products, new services, new ways of doing things differently that can create really high quality jobs in Lincolnshire. And I'm really pleased that my colleague Melanie is going to talk to you a little bit about that later on in one of the panels. I think we don't always realise that we've got some great strategic assets around health and care in Lincolnshire that we can build upon. The first of those, you'll have seen a picture up here as the slide deck is going through of the Lincolnshire Medical School, and the LEP was really proud to be one of a group of organisations that supported that development. Now, one of the key drivers of the medical school development was about addressing the challenges of recruiting and training doctors and other healthcare professionals in Lincolnshire. But actually, it also gives us great opportunities around research and development, particularly in the areas of developing in the areas of delivery of rural medicine, which from an organisation like mine, we absolutely exist to address those kinds of challenges. Also at the medical school, we have, perhaps we don't know, the Lincoln International Institute for Rural Health, which brings together multidisciplinary teams looking at research into the inequalities that come from delivering healthcare in a rural environment. And we also have the National Centre of Rural Health and Care, who's got a real interest in developing data and insights into new workforce models and how, again, we can do things differently. And we can have those kinds of innovations and developments based right here in our county in Lincolnshire. Second strategic asset I want to just bring your attention to is the Lincoln Science Park, and particularly the development of the Bull Technology Centre. I don't know if you've been there, but it's got some really great facilities for supporting technology businesses down there, including an industry-leading aseptic pharmacy facility that has been developed in conjunction with the NHS to meet an NHS need for the development of and delivery of chemotherapy drugs. There's also some great incubated businesses doing some really interesting work around Nutripharma and looking at that collaboration and development between health and the food industries, something that we have some unique ability to be able to bring together in Lincolnshire that perhaps can't be done elsewhere in the country. And the third strategic asset I wanted to bring your attention to is the development of the Campus for Future Living in Mablethorpe, which is currently under construction and I believe due to open next year in 2024. And I think this is really important because it's not all about Lincoln. You know, the Greater Lincolnshire is a large area, and having this facility out in Mablethorpe gives us the opportunity to develop and test medtech applications really in the communities where they're going to have great value. So we're really excited to see the Campus for Future Living come online next year too. And I guess these and other strategic assets in the county underpin the reason that I'm so excited and enthusiastic about our opportunities for innovation and development. As a health and care board, we've recently received some funding to look at how we organise ourselves in such a way to take advantage of these strategic assets. We're looking to create an ecosystem in which we bring together the people and the resources and enterprises to kind of inspire development. Some of the questions we're asking ourselves at the moment are, what does digital health look like in a rural or a coastal community? And particularly, what does that look like when you add in the challenge of an aging population? How do we create an environment in which our clinical entrepreneurs, who are many across our system, actually have the tools and resources and access to be able to develop those bright ideas into our businesses of the future? How can we build an environment in which actually we encourage businesses to locate themselves in Lincolnshire? We have in Lincolnshire one pharmaceutical company, and if you speak to Jeremy, who's their managing director, he waxes lyrical about the advantages of being located in Lincolnshire, both from a lifestyle and a business point of view, and the great relationships he has with the University of Lincoln that allows him to develop his workforce of the future. But if Jeremy is so excited about him being here, how can we invite other people to come and share in those benefits too? For me, it's an incredibly exciting time to be working in health and care. The opportunities that are available to us are immense. We're right at the beginning of this journey of looking at what does that mean for our county, and it can't be done by any one organisation, be it mine, be it the NHS, the University of Lincoln or any other. Where we will do this is by coming together, working in collaboration, convening a team of the right people who are really enthusiastic about making a difference, just as we are. So I am here for the rest of the day. Neil's told you about the networking opportunities. If you're as excited about what health and care could look like as I am, please do come and find me because I really want to talk to you more. Have a great day.
Thanks very much, Nikki. What an amazing roundup of successful progress. The health and care sector is certainly evolving, and there's no doubt we've all seen how much it's facing unprecedented demands, but people like Nikki, we're lucky to have in this area, know that that also offers enormous opportunities for innovation and growth. Okay, so next up, we have Alex Boucher. Now, Alex is the operations manager at SRC UK, responsible for smooth running of facilities, support for technical delivery, contracts, and delivery of intelligence mission data. Alex has 13 years service in the Royal Air Force as an avionics technician on Hercules aircraft, followed by writing mission data for Typhoon at RAF Waddington. Please give a warm welcome to Alex.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I was assured that there was only a couple of you, so this is a bit nerve-wracking. Also, that's a bit nerve-wracking as well, so I'm glad I can't see that. I was quite horrified when they said they needed a high-res image. So, as you can see, I am not Steve Davis, who is advertised in your brochure, so apologies for that. Steve has been taken ill, so I've stepped in at the last minute, so excuse me if I waffle a little bit. But I'm here to tell you a little bit about SRC UK and where we came from and how we have settled into Lincolnshire. So SRC UK is a wholly owned subsidiary of an American company called SRC Inc., which is based in Syracuse in New York. SRC Inc. was formed in 1957 and is a research arm attached to the university, or used to be, separate now. The background in SRC Inc. used to be analytics of data, especially from radar, and the whole reason for it being set up, particularly the way it was set up as it is a not-for-profit company, was to protect America's warfighters. About 10 years ago, they decided to go international, and SRC UK is the latest version of that. We're just over 4 years old now. So we set up in Lincoln for a couple of reasons. First of all, RAF Lincolnshire. There's a lot of bases here, and a lot of the work that are done in those bases is based around what SRC Inc. is traditionally known for. But actually, there's a lot more that Lincolnshire has to offer, because we could have set up in London, for example, or down in Cheltenham. There are other areas. But the growing university is one of the biggest drivers for us here. The university is a fantastic source of up-and-coming talent, and actually the majority of our workforce is now based around university graduates. Other industry in the area obviously makes collaboration a lot easier. And as mentioned, the LEP has set up the Greater Lincolnshire Defence and Security Network, which we are a proud part of. And actually, that supports local defence initiatives, which is a fantastic thing to be a part of these days, because it means that we can work collaboratively, which is exactly what the military wants going forward. So that brings me on to the point that there is a change in defence. When we first set up, we had a meeting with somebody who then promptly asked where we store our guns. I can quite assure you we do not have any guns. But that just highlights the fact that the military is changing. It's not the traditional, it's all offensive. A lot of the work that the military do is defensive to protect its own people and to protect our country. So there have been great changes with regards to AI and ML, data analysis, big data, down to things like UAVs and all the work with the drones. A lot of things are remote these days. So all of the analytics that come from that information obviously has to go somewhere. So it means that there's a very, very great emphasis on technology in defence these days. Our growth as SRC UK has been very, very rapid. So to show you what Lincolnshire can offer, we started in May 2019. There were 3 people in the company at that time. I joined in the September and became employee number 4. I joined as a data analyst. I quickly told them they didn't need a data analyst, they needed somebody to do everything else. So, which is why I became operations. We started our first graduate course because we have a graduate scheme set up in the December of that year where we took on 4 graduates. In the January, we employed 4 veterans. And then in the April, it was the pandemic. But in testament to what is needed in the military these days, our company continued to grow despite the pandemic. And now, 4 years later, we are at 65 people. We have just moved into a new building, Gravity, which is based on the Lincolnshire Science and Innovation Park. So that's already been mentioned. It's a fantastic facility, and it is been our incubator. So although we are a wholly owned subsidiary of an American company, they believe in tough love in America, so here's a couple of quid, go and sort yourselves out. So actually, without that support from the LEP, without that support from Lincoln Science and Innovation Park, we would be struggling now. We've been able to develop a good working relationship and a partnership with the university. And it means that probably about 55% of our current intake are graduates, the majority of which are from Lincoln, but we do take from the local area. Which leads me then on to my final point, which is opportunities to support growth. Lincoln is a fantastic place in the sense that we have that great university for that new local talent. But defence itself continues to be a growing field. It's notoriously hard to get into, that's always been the case, but with things like the GLDSN, we've been able to offer support to up-and-coming companies who wish to get into defence. We've been able to offer more and more positions to university graduates, which means that we are well placed now to be the top of the technology field in the UK, really. So Lincolnshire as a whole has so many opportunities to offer defence, whether you're a new company or somebody looking to get into the field. So it's a great pleasure to be a part of that. So thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Alex, for that. Now, the defence and security sector is clearly responding to the many changes that are going on in our world at the moment and continues to go from strength to strength. And I just want to say thank you, Alex, for highlighting the fact that their company started off as an SME, a local business here, and grew up to 65 employees that they now have. That's got to be really encouraging for anyone setting out in this sector, or indeed in any sector at all, that this is a great place to do business. You've just got to do it in partnership and start networking and talking with people. So thank you very much for that insight, Alex. You can also visit, by the way, some of our other cluster member innovations in our groundbreaking demonstration arena out the back there following this session. Okay, so on to our final impact success story. Louise Matala, CEO of Bridge Farm's new bioscience arm, following 5 years of R&D activity and a recent £10 million investment in a new facility, Bridge Farm Bioscience is nearing commercialization, I'll say these carefully, of its plant-derived molecules and is transitioning in an established horticultural business into a producer of high-value molecules for use in the nutraceutical, personal care, and pharmaceutical sectors. Yes. Please welcome Louise to the stage to tell us more about this. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. This isn't my normal sort of domain, so bear with me. I'm really just going to talk to you about the journey, really, of how we're an established family-run plant business, supplying plants to supermarkets, and how we've really sort of gone on a journey of quite rapid development more recently, but certainly it's been a pathway and a journey of patience over 5 years to get where we are today. So. In 2017, 2018, we went through a management buyout as a business, and we invested to build Clay Lake, which is, some of you may have seen on the A16, a really large 48-acre glass house full of automation, biomass heating, rainwater capture, and lots of automation inside, really to be able to cultivate plants at a low cost in a highly sustainable way. And that was our business model. But at the same time, we started to understand that there was a development in North America around cannabis and particularly around CBD at the time. So we started to look at that sector and then realised it was quite interesting. And again, it was a plant, and we're very good at growing plants and growing plants at scale. So we acquired a Home Office licence 5 years ago to start to look at cultivating cannabis, to produce CBD for the wellness market, and also to look at cannabis-based medicines for the emerging sort of cannabis-based medicinal product market that was developing. We then were lucky enough to come across a green chemistry expert called Professor Ray Marriott, who has spent years on CO2 extraction, but also harnessing the really exciting properties that exist in plants for medical purposes. And working with Ray and our sort of team of cultivators, we were able to do lots of exciting work in terms of the genetic development of cannabis and isolating the really interesting compounds that existed in that plant. And that's still very much one of the key channels of development that we're very much focused on. But what we soon discovered was that there were lots of other applications for the technology that we were using and the cultivation capacity that we had. We were able to raise £10 million of investment quite recently to build what we think is quite a unique facility that combines high-scale, high-quality, controlled environment cultivation of plants combined with large-scale CO2 extraction. So we've built a facility that has a 300-litre CO2 extraction plant that allows us to take all of those exciting molecules out of the plants. And then we've adjoined to that a GMP-compliant manufacturing facility that allows us to go all the way from producing a plant to producing an active ingredient that could be used in pharmaceutical products. Also, we have been working very closely with some global FMCG companies that are interested in the same technology to use in cosmetic ingredients and personal care products. And so all of a sudden, what started as an idea around cannabis for CBD and cannabis-based medicines has really kind of evolved into an opportunity that is really about taking molecules from plants at scale and really has a really global significant opportunity. So we now have a pipeline of products that are being tested in Shanghai. We have a European opportunity where we're looking at ingredients that could be used in pharmaceutical products, particularly around vaccines. And all of this is super exciting and, lots and lots of opportunity. And there's so many other sectors that we could possibly touch in the future. But the challenge for us as a business was going from a traditional horticulture business that's used to growing plants to all of a sudden become a science business that requires a completely different skill set. We're based in Spalding. We're not surrounded by lots of life sciences businesses, and so sort of talent development has been and talent acquisition has been probably one of our biggest challenges. we started trying to recruit people from further afield that have got the skill set in pharmaceuticals or in sort of scientific development in functional molecules. And we really struggled to attract them to our area specifically. And so we then started to have to think about a different way that we could develop the team and the skill set we needed to be able to really go after the opportunities that were really quite profound and really quite exciting, but were difficult to actually service because of resource. And so now we have a team of 34 people that work specifically on this side of our business, the British Farm Bioscience, but also it's made up with a lot of young people that have returned to the area post degree or post-master's studies that don't want to live anywhere else but sort of Lincolnshire, which is fabulous. And they're now part of this groundbreaking work. So we have chemists that have returned, we have mechanical engineers that are part of our team, we have plant scientists that have joined us recently, and so we have a team of young people that are really doing lots of groundbreaking work, but we're lucky that we have Professor Ray Marriott that's got decades of experience, so he's percolating his knowledge into the team, and we have this team of young people that are really grabbing hold of all of these opportunities and are really driving lots of new thinking in a new opportunity in a new space. So that's kind of where we are now. We are yet to commercialise our activities, so in the next 6 months we will turn our 5 years of R&D into commercial opportunity, and we will sort of start to generate revenue. And so the challenge that I have now is really starting to think about how do we develop the pipeline of talent alongside developing the pipeline of future ingredients and molecules that present lots of opportunity for us. And that's really, for me, connecting more broadly with the sort of the academic teams and the other businesses that are really sort of developing in the Lincolnshire area, because coming to events like this, you really start to realise what great stuff is going on in this area. There's so many wonderful businesses that are doing some quite pioneering work. But because of the sort of size of our county, sometimes we seem so far apart. So organisations like the LEP have really started to open our eyes as a business into some of the other sort of businesses and opportunities and how we can collaborate locally to sort of, really go after some sort of really quite exciting opportunities. Okay, thank you very much.